It's all a learning curve, you know. I sat down one day, not too long ago, and I wrote down the names of every boy that was in that class, where they lived, their address, their father's name, and what their fathers did in their occupation. I was offered the chance of being trained as a winemaker, but I declined it because I was dead set on becoming a soldier. I did join up, and I had limited education, but I'd always had a yearning to learn. It was an eye-opener when I went into recruit training. They were trying to instill in you what you were, that you were a soldier. And, you know, that they'd scream at you, "What are you? What's your main aim in life?" And of course you'd have to scream back, "And to kill the enemy." And they'd, you know, they try to instill a disregard for the other side, but it's hard. It's a long learning curve, but you either do it or you don't survive. I got through and liked it. And then I was told that would I like to go to Japan? And I thought, yeah, that sounds good. So I did. But there was a lot of things there that was still had the effects of the bombing and the devastation that took place at the end of the war. A lot of people said, "Oh, you're going to Japan. Gee, that's going to be dangerous." But we had no fear whatsoever, or did we have any need for it. I met Ye, she worked for 34 Brigade, and she worked there as a telephonist. And our things worked out, and we got together, and our son was born. We've been married 74 years, and I've got the greatest pride and time for her, because what she did was really remarkable. She decided that she was going to come to Australia, which is completely foreign to her in language, in food, in custom, and all of that. And she was going to bring a 3-month-old baby, and she did. And she made the best of it. And we got back in 1953. Now, that was only 8 years after the end of the war, and there was a hell of a lot of animosity in this country against the Japanese, and you couldn't blame them, because people had relatives and friends and that, and sons and husbands that had been prisoners of war and treated very, very badly. So you couldn't blame them. But she handled that the best she could, and I supported her. And even my son, he encountered it when he went to school. We heard one day that we were restricted to barracks. There was no more leave. The armies of North Korea had invaded the Democratic Republic of South Korea. The day that I left for Korea with the rest of my mates, the Japanese kids would be singing, and I can still remember it. "Okai no ringo ni kochibiru no sese dama ata mita iru arari sola." And there was a lot of Japanese people there crying there, you know, about there's the Australians that we knew so well, and they're leaving. There was hundreds of them there just waving to us. I was in the biggest battle in Korea, which was Kapyong. In that battle, there was 66 South Australians, but I'm the only survivor now. This was painted, and it was commissioned last year. And this chap here, they modelled him off of me. That chap there, the New Zealand officer who was a range officer giving the rangers for the guns, he was killed that day. And we were the first foreign unit to be awarded the United States Presidential Citation. This is the top citation. It's like the Victoria Cross of citations. At Kapyong, we got bombed by the Americans with napalm. Well, that was an eye-opener to me, because Jack McBride, who I went through boot camp with, he got killed with that bomb. But there was another bloke that later became a casualty, but he walked out of where the second bomb had dropped. His boots were smouldering. The skin on his arm had come down and formed over his hands, so there was skin just coming down from his hands, like someone had got it and just pulled it down. And Harold said, "For Christ's sake, sir, shoot me, for God's sake." You know, those sort of things, they're eye-openers. And I get a bit emotional over those sort of things because they're all good mates. That just points to the savagery of war. It's worse when you're a young bloke, 18 years old, because there's a lot of things in life you don't even know about. But there you are up doing one of the worst things that humankind can commit themselves to. And then at the same time, you've got to have a heart too. During the battle, in the latter parts, I heard some shots going on. Things had been quiet for a while, and I got up and I peeped over the parapet, and there was this Chinese bloke coming up there, and there was blokes trying to shoot him. And I remember Squizzy yelling out, hey, knock it off, the poor bastard's trying to give up. Because he had his hands in the air, you see. We grabbed him and put him in our pit. And he was only a young bloke, 16, 17. I gave him a packet of cigarettes, and Squizzy and I broke open one of our sea rations and gave to him. And I don't think he'd eaten for a while. The poor bugger was scoffing it down, you know. But when we were carrying the wounded out, like Harold Giddens and that, he started moving with us, carrying my pack for me, because I was on one end of a stretcher. So I often wondered, what happened to him? So, you know, there's a bit of civility, if you can call it that. That's the thing you should never lose too. You know what's going to happen to you if you drop your guard, but you don't have to be a beast with what's left of it. So it's all a learning curve, you know.